Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel ServiceNow Universe. Today we'll be covering a very important concept that is CMDB identification and reconciliation rules. In short, we call that as IRE, that is Identification and Reconciliation Engine. This is to this IRE makes sure to add good data in the CMDB. As you all know, CMDB is the backbone of any organization. So having bad data in CMDB may cause many issues. Okay, so first of all we'll just check out what all issue we face, and then how this CMDB reconciliation and identification and reconciliation engine solves the issue. We will discuss that. So uh, let's check that with an example. Okay, let's consider we have one company, we have one organization, and let's name it as ServiceNow Universe. ServiceNow Universe is a company, and in that company we have many for example, we have the network devices. I'll say network devices we have, and we have many uh, computers. Okay, we have computers here. I say this as desktops. We have laptops as well. So we have laptops here, laptops, and we have softwares as well. Like a software is installed in this desktops or laptops. So we have those as well here with us. We call them as softwares. Okay, now this all data is nothing but the configuration. There might be much more, but we'll discuss, we'll take any one of this and we'll discuss that. So we have network devices, desktops, laptops, softwares installed in these desktops or laptops. These all constitute the CMDB. Okay, let's take an example. We have a laptop, and it's let me take a laptop. Okay, uh, s- yes. So we are reading the data from this uh, organization's network. Okay, so let's take a laptop. Its serial number, its name, I can say laptop 1123. Okay, its name. Okay, now what happens is, when we retrieve the data from the organization, right, we have multiple sources to retrieve the data from the organization and then put it in CMDB. We have multiple sources, right? So let's discuss one by one many sources, not in detail, just we'll check which are all the sources we have. Okay, so first source can be discovery, ServiceNow discovery, ServiceNow discovery. Okay, so ServiceNow discovery, what it will do is it will search for search for the devices or softwares in the company's organization's network, and then it will get it and put it in CMDB. Okay, so first source we can say ServiceNow discovery. We'll say a second source is SCCM. It's a third party tool. It stores the software usage data and where that software is installed on, so in which laptop or in which desktop it is installed on, that is also it is stored. It will store. And the next source might be the Excel. Excel can be manually added, manually imported by a person. Okay, manual import we can say, manual import. And there might be multiple sources, but I am just for example I'm taking four here. We can add it through the script, right? We can create a new record in any of the table of CMDB with the script as well. So these are the four sources, for example, we can say. Now uh, this laptop that ServiceNow discovery is fetching. Okay, so it is fetching laptop 123, and for assume for example we are adding that in the computers table. Okay, computers, and the computers table is this, I think, computer. Okay, by system, and we have computers table, that is CMDB CI computer. Okay, so if I go here, sorry, so this is our computer table. Okay, now we need to insert the data in this computer table from there are multiple discovery sources, sorry, multiple sources here. Okay, for example, assume the discovery has found this laptop 123. Okay, this retrieves it and it puts it in the computer table. This creates it, and from the company's organization network it reads it, laptop 123. Okay, now SCCM also reads that. SCCM also reads that, uh, and it stores what all the software is installed on this laptop 123 and their usage time and everything. Now that also uh, adds the data to the CMDB here. Okay, let's say it also creates the data. Now the manual Excel import, for example, I have some laptop information with me, laptops information. Then what I can do is I can create an Excel, I can import that. So in this way also I can create the data in CMDB. Okay, and through script, for example, in any business rule or anything else in the service, now we can create the data in the CMDB. For example, this same laptop is created by four different sources in a table. So what may happen is there are chances that the same laptop is added four times here. Okay, there are four records in the computers table with the same for the same laptop. Okay, so is this correct one? No, because we have duplicate CIs here. The same laptop, it should be present only once here, but it is present multiple times. Okay, so here comes the identity. This is the issue. Multiple duplicated CIs is the issue. Okay, this is first issue. The second issue what we may face is the overloaded CIs. What it means is, for example, consider we have let me just check this. We have a software called Microsoft. We can say we have some software, for example, and its name is software 123. Okay, and its version is 2019. Okay, we have this software, and the second software is the same software, but the version is different. That is 2016. Okay, now these are two different softwares. This software and this software, these are not same softwares, even though the name of the software is same, but the version is different. Okay, for example, this 2019 might be installed in one PC and 2016 might be installed in another PC. But what happens is, we should have created two CIs in the software table, but what happens is we'll create only one. For example, we'll create a I think in software tables, let me go to software table. Softwares. Okay, this is the table CMDB CI SPKG. So this is the software table. Here I'll add that software table. Okay, so in this software table, instead of having two entries, we'll be having only one entry with the name software 123. The version we ignore. Okay, when one data source creates software 123 with the version 2019. Okay, and when another data source tries to uh, let me just add this back. Okay, for example, one data source is adding the version 2019 to the software table. So it has added that, and the second data source comes and tries to add 2016 version, but without the reconciliation comes in picture. Here I'll explain how that works. So without that reconciliation rule, what happens is it just comes here. Sorry, identification rule. It just comes here and it just checks the software 123 is present. Then it will override this existing software which is added. It just removes 2019 version from it and adds 2016. Okay, so instead of having two different CIs in the software table, we'll be having only one with the name software 123, but which is added second, which is added at the last, will that version will be there in the software. So this is overloaded CIs issue. Okay, so these are two issues. To overcome this issue, we have IRE, identification and reconciliation engine. So let me just replace this with IRE. Okay, Control Z. Let me just make uh, duplicate it. Okay, so before we create the data in computer, it goes through the IRE. Okay, Uh, Now it creates or updates data based on identification. Now this creates will remove. Mm, will just the data source will call the IRE. Okay, it will not directly create. It should call the IRE first, and that IRE will take care. The identification rule will make sure whether to insert the data or whether to update the data. Okay, and then the reconciliation. This is everything about identification. Then what is reconciliation? For example, in this laptop 123, we'll be having the RAM, right? We'll be having a RAM field here. Let me just enter. We'll be having RAM of the laptop. Okay. Now, as there are multiple sources, service node discovery, SCCM, manual import, and script. So, out of these sources, which is the trusted source? Which is the source of truth for updating the RAM field? We can have multiple fields. So I'll show that in the system how to add the reconciliation rule. So here will if we take example of RAM, for example, if this service node discovery is adding the RAM as 64 GB, SCCM is adding as 32 GB, manual import is adding as 16 GB, and script is adding as 8 GB. Okay, the RAM value in these all data sources is different for the same computer. So then we have to decide which is the correct, which is the trusted data source. That is the reconciliation. So here what we'll do is we'll have the priority, and we say SCCM is the important one. SCCM is the trusted data source. So what happens is when SCCM creates it, when SCCM updates the computer, this computer record with the RAM, then that is taken. Once the SCCM is updates, then any other data source try to update that, it will not take it, because we have in the reconciliation rule we have marked SCCM as the trusted source. Okay, I'll explain you that as well with an example. So let's go back and see in the system how this identification and reconciliation engine looks like. Okay. Okay, if we type here mm, identification, then we get this module. In the configuration we have identification and reconciliation. So here we can see CI identifiers. Okay, let me open this CI identifiers. So, and one more thing, that computer table extends hardware table extends the configuration item table extends the base system table. So that's why if we write the identifier or reconciliation identification rule or reconciliation rule on the parent table, that gets applied to all of its childs actually. Okay, now we can see uh, there is a identification rule. Okay, let me just Okay, there is identification rule already out of the box present for hardware table. So this identification rule will be applied to the this identification rule will be applied to the computer table as well. Okay, unless we have one for computer table. So let's go and create one for a computer table. Uh, okay, so this is CI identification. We'll say computer identification rules. So rule. Okay, I'll say which uh, table it is. So we have to add this CMDB CI computer, and I'll save this. And once I save, I get the related list here. That is identifier entries. So here, uh, let me create the new records. Okay. Now what I'm saying is this priority. Okay. So what I say is identifier is this, search on table is computer table. We need to search, and what I'm saying is this, and attributes creation, what attributes we need to check. For example, I'll say name. Okay, with the name, and I'll submit this. Okay, and this priority is 100, and let me go and create a new one as well. Now this time same thing, but what I say is is serial number, I'll say. Okay, serial number. Okay. And We can create multiple here, and I have added only one condition, but let me add one more here with two fields. Okay, and here I'll just add CPU speed and operating system and serial number, all three. Okay, and submit this. Okay, it's taking some time. Okay, now we have three entries. We did not add the priorities here, so let me just add the priorities. For name it is 100. For serial number we'll add 200 priority, and for this one, the last one, will add 300 priority. Now how the priority works here? So for example, if I want to create a record in the CMDB CI computer table, as I have created this identification rule, and when the service node discovery and SCCM, for SCCM we have a plugin called service graph connector for SCCM, and service node discovery and SCCM, when these two gets triggered, right, so that time automatically IRE will be attached. Okay, before going to CMDB it will go to IRE, we don't need to do anything. But when we are working with the manual import, right, manual import using the transform maps, then we need to invoke the IRE. And in the script as well, if we are adding it through the script, we need to invoke the IRE that time on our own. We have script for that. I'll create a part two video of this, and I'll show how to add that script, and I'll show the demo of this as well. Okay, but I'll explain it now. Okay, so when a discovery or any of the source, when when we try to add the data in the CMDB CI computer table, it comes to this record, and it just checks which is first priority. Okay, 100 is the first priority here, and that is name. So what it will do is it will just check with the name. For example, that laptop 123, that is the name of the laptop. It go to this CMDB CI computer table and checks whether laptop 123 is present or not. With that name, is there any entry in this record? If that record is present, then it identifies this, and what it makes is the data whatever is coming, it will update the record, because there is already record present there. Okay, if with that name laptop 123 there is no record present in the computer table, then it jumps to the second one, 200 priority. Then it checks whether the serial number, whatever serial number is coming through that data source, whether that serial number is present in the computer table or not. If it is present, then it updates. If not, then it goes to the next one, that is 300, and it checks now three fields, whether CPU speed, OS, and serial number, all these three are matching with the existing record in the CMDB CI computer or not. If it is matching, then it updates the record. If not, then there is no identifier entry there. 300 is the last one. Then what will make is we did not find any of the computer with the data what we received from the data source, then it will create a new one. Okay, first it will go through the least priority one to the higher priority. If it finds any record, then it updates. If it don't find any record, then it goes and creates a new one. Okay, so this is a CI identifier. And next, if we go here, there is this reconciliation definition here. Okay, now I'll go and show how to create the reconciliation definition. So we don't have option to create the reconciliation definition here, so we have one more view. If we go CI class manager, okay, CI class manager, here I will get option to create identification and reconciliation definitions. Okay, let this load. Okay, let's open the hierarchy. Now we will search for computer, as we are interested in computer table. So we'll see all the hardware, everything. So as we are interested in computer, so we have this computer here. Now I'll go to identification rules. You can see we have added this identification name with the 100, serial number with 200, and these three attributes with 300 priorities. So we can see that here, and we can add a new one here, the same way we have added in that table. So now we have reconciliation rules here. Okay, and now we can go and add the reconciliation rule here. Okay, there is one added already, I think, but we can add here. Now let me just go and search for this service now. Okay, what I say is service now with 100 priority. Okay, I'll explain you what is this, and then what I'll do is a big fix inventory. Like SCCM, we have a big fix third-party tool where the data is stored. Again, there is integration with big fix to get the data in the CMDB. So I'll say if the data is coming from big fix, then that should be 200 priority. So here, what we are saying, this is not service watch. I'll take service now. Okay, this is service now is service now discovery, and third one will add as let me go and search. There is import set. Okay, import set I'll add as 300. Okay, now this is reconciliation rule. As I told you earlier, reconciliation is for updating the CMDB, and it will make source the data is updated from the trusted data source. Okay, now here what we said is service now is the trusted source. The most trusted source is service now. Okay, now what happens is when I go and for example, service node discovery is not a trigger, big fix inventory is not a trigger, means that integration is not at setup, but we are loading the data through import set, for example. Okay, now I am loading the and let me just click on next, and I am saying only for ram field here. Okay, only for ram field. We can add multiple fields as well, like we added in the identification, a ram field. So what I'm saying is for the ram field. Okay, let me just click again on this. Yeah, for the RAM field to be updated on that laptop 123, for example, the most trusted source is service node discovery. Okay, the second trusted source is big fix inventory, and third one is import set. Okay, for example, this is not yet triggered service node discovery, and big fix inventory is not yet triggered. Import set we are triggering we are manually importing an Excel, and in that Excel for that laptop 123 we have added the RAM as 8 GB. Okay, so now what system will do is for that laptop 123 it will just check whether ServiceNow or the last updated source, which is the last updated source. Currently there is nothing because we have not updated it yet, so there is no last updated source. What it will do is then as a ServiceNow discovery big fix inventory is not triggered, it considers this as the trusted source and to adds the data to the RAM field, okay, of laptop 123 computer. Okay, now what happens is in some time I think big fix inventory integration is triggered. Now when the for example, this has added 8 GB, for example 8 GB RAM, and when the big fix inventory is triggered, it comes, and when it comes and it checks what is the last data source that record is updated. The last data source that record is updated, that is import set. Okay, and import set have 300 priority, but big fix inventory have 200 priority. So this big fix inventory is the most trusted source than import set. Now it will update the data. Okay, for example, big fix inventory might be bringing the 16 GB data here for that laptop 123. Now 8 GB from the import set is replaced with big fix 16 GB RAM. Okay, now after some time service node discovery is triggered. So service node discovery brings RAM as 32 GB, for example. Now again it checks what is the last updated data source, that is the big fix inventory, and in big fix inventory that was what 16 GB data. That updated a 16 GB data. Now service now, as the service now has most priority and this is most trusted source, now that will be replaced with 32 GB. Okay, the RAM is replaced with 32 GB. Now comes now after the last discovered source is service node discovery, and if we try to update the RAM field with import set or big fix inventory, for example import set, if I want to import the Excel, now again 8 GB is there, RAM 8 GB is there. Now we are importing that, the last now the last updated source is the service now discovery that has priority 100, and import set has priority 300. So data will not be updated, the RAM field will not be changed, RAM field will be kept as 32 GB itself. Okay, if big fixer try to update the RAM field, then also it will not be updated, as service node discovery, which is the most trusted data source, has updated already that to 32 GB. Okay, so this is reconciliation. Reconciliation is for updating the fields value, one field or multiple fields value from a trusted data source so that the data should be a good one. We should not add the bad data to the CMDB. So this is about CMDB identification and reconciliation rules. So that's it. I'll create a part 2 video of this where I'll show you the demo using the import set and using script, because I have not set up the ServiceNow discovery and big fix inventory integration or SCCM integration on my PDI. So I'll show you that with import set and with the script, and I'll show you how to add the script, and I'll give you the source for that script as well. I'll create a part 2 for that. Hope this video makes sense, and you all guys have enjoyed the video. So if this has helped you, then please like the video and share the video, and subscribe the channel. Yeah, thank you guys.